call the meeting to order at 5:15 p.m. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct a roll call? Legislators Henry and Waldron have asked to be excused. Nady.
I'm here.
Mr. Castine. Mr. Bazzaio.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry is asked to be excused. Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer. Here. Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
And Ms. Waldron is asked to be excused. Yes, sir.
All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the November 9th, 2022 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Motion by Rob, second by Francis. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I will now recognize those in the audience who wish to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. Please raise your hand if you wish to be recognized and state your name and address for the record. In accordance with the rules of order, all speakers will be limited to 5 minutes.
Hi, good evening. I'm Diana Wardell. I live at 46 Edgewater Estates. It's nice to see you all, and I just want to, first of all, thank my hat is always off to our electeds, but thank you for your good work in, I guess, the commission that was or the committee formed to do redistricting in our county is near the end of its work. I thought maybe tonight would be the night, but again, thank you for your work. And I want to mention very briefly something that may be of interest. It's an invitation. I do work for several volunteer organizations, and one is Plattsburgh Cares. And we're having a program on Friday, December 9th at the Newman Center at 7 o'clock. And it's not quite an informational debate session at all. It's Jenna McFetridge, Adrian Carr, who's a composer, and Paula Allen, a photographer, that's presenting a program about the tens of thousands of people that have funneled through our area, crossing in town of Champlain at Roxham Road, and a little bit of, Jenna presents the facts in her first talk, and then she comes back after this slideshow with Adrian's music in the background to provide the narrative, the story. We are strictly humanitarian. Calvin is very well aware of the Roxham Road crossing. It's nothing that we invite people to at all, but ours is strictly humanitarian because of folks coming up to the border unprepared for the weather. So we pass out hats and gloves and coats. So you're invited, and I will send out a poster. I just shared it with Deputy Cooley, who I know from my Clinton years, and I'm also in touch with the sheriff too about it. Thanks.
Dan, could you email me?
I will.
And I will make sure that the legislators have the information.
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Seeing that there's no one else. Tonight we have a public hearing on local law 1, a local law authorizing the county to hold virtual public meetings. According with Chapter 56, Part WW of the laws of 2022, amending Section 103 of the Open Meetings Law, I would like to ask the clerk of the board to read the notice of public hearing.
Certainly. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Legislators will conduct a public hearing regarding local law number 1 of 2022 titled, a local law authorizing the county to hold virtual public meetings according with Chapter 56, Part WW of the laws of 2022, amending Section 103 of the Open Meetings Law, which will be held Monday, November 21, 2022 at 5:15 p.m. in the Legislative Chambers, 137 Margaret Street, Plattsburgh, New York, at which time all persons interested shall be heard.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing. Motion by Rob Timmons, second by Francis. Time is 5:20. Is there anyone present who wishes to address the board regarding this matter? If so, state your name and address for the record in accordance with the rules of order. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes.
Just, I'm for it.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Wendell, second by Josh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We will now go to committee reports. I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Pizzato.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, November 14th was canceled. Resolution 871 was pulled and has been placed on the agenda. The next Building and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 12th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Children and Family Services, Mr. Boddicker.
Thank you, Chairman. The Children and Family Services Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, December 6th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Economic Development and County Operations, Mr. Zerlo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of Legislator Waldron, the Economic Development County Operations Committee has not met since the last regular session. That committee will convene a meeting which is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 14 at 4 p.m. End of report, sir.
Thank you. Finance, Mr. Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Finance Committee meetings are scheduled for next Monday and Tuesday, November 28th and 29th at 4 p.m. to review the 2023 budget, and as you can see in front of you, you'll have the copy of the tentative budget and the report.
Thank you, sir. Health, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has not met since our last regular session. The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 7th at 4:15. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Human Services, Mr. Poirier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, December 6th at 4:15. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Personnel, Mr. Kittenblum.
Yes, on behalf of Legislator Henry, the Personnel Committee met on Monday, November 7th. Resolution number 872 through 886 has been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The next Personnel Committee is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 5th at 5 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Plattsburgh International Airport, myself. The Plattsburgh International Airport Committee met earlier. Chris Pez, the airport director, was present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for foreign object debris sweeper and amending Plattsburgh International Airport rates and charges. Mr. Craig also provided the committee with a tenant update and a staffing update. Resolutions 887 through 898 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 28th at 4 p.m. End of report. Public Safety, Mr. Castine.
Yes, sir, Mr. Hall. The Public Safety Committee has not met since the last regular session. However, resolution number 899 was discussed at the November 7th Public Safety Committee meeting and has been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. Also, resolution 900 was polled and been placed on the agenda. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 5th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Transportation, Mr. Crester.
Thank you, sir. The Transportation Committee met on Monday, November 14th. Shannon Thayer, the senior planner, was present to discuss a staffing update and 2023 route changes. Carl Weiss, the highway superintendent, was also present to discuss resolutions authorizing contract with Paletti Stone Corporation and awarding bid for replacement of True Brook Road Bridge over True Brook bin 3358320. Resolutions number 901 through 904 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee, and the next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 12th at 5:15 p.m. And that's the end of the report.
Thank you, sir. Are there any liaison reports? Mr. Fabro?
No, no,
No. Mr. Zerlo?
no. I'll do liaison reports and then staff is below.
Oh, okay. Board of Health, Mr. Potiker.
No meeting since the last regular session. We do have a meeting scheduled for tonight at 7 p.m. Anybody wants to attend?
I do know, Mr. Potiker, that there is at least one, possibly two Board of Health committee members that will be on the Health Committee agenda to process through normal order, but I believe there is a replacement for Dr. Camillo and a second replacement, if I recall. So those will be coming through the legislative process.
Okay.
Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Potiker.
No report.
Lynn Community College, Mr. Mazzaio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a conflict and was unable to attend the November 15th Clinton Community College Board of Trustees meeting, so I have no report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Community Service Board, Mr. Castine.
No report, sir.
Just the one thing I'll make everybody aware of now that this document is fresh in my head. You will note when you review your recommended budget that there are two additions, but the one that is germane to this conversation is the Community Services Board is now on the list of contract agencies in your recommended budget, and that is a pathway to get opioid settlement money to the community as is required by the Attorney General's settlement documents.
Cooperative Extension, Mr. Timmons.
Yes, we had our annual meeting last Tuesday night. We had a few people that transitioned off the board, but we do have a full board and are ready for next year.
Thank you. Discipline Review. Nothing. Grievance Committee.
That next two or nothing.
County's nothing, jury board's nothing. LC and LG report, Mr. Hughes, Mr. Kressner.
No report.
The one thing I will say is we made considerable progress, Mr. Hughes, obtaining the broadband data that LCLG is looking for.
I was in confusion.
As was I.
Federal versus state,
so
so we figured it out the other day.
So
We're all
it's in the hopper. I signed the document today from the Public Service Commission, and that data will be sent to me and subsequently to the LC and LG.
Beth was the staff. She said that.
Soil and Water, Mr. Poirier, Mr. Timmons.
Yes, if you look on your desk areas, you'll notice that there's a sheet that I had printed off that Pete actually put together. Kind of gives you an idea of some of the large awards of money that have come to Clinton County from the state through Soil and Water and some of the different programs that we've been doing. Just so that you can look at them and go over it. Report.
Thank you. Now I'm in the right place. Do staff members have any reports? Mr. Fabro? No report. Mr. Zerlo?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I am going to request an executive session this evening to discuss two matters of collective negotiation. And secondly, Mr. Timmons, Chairman Timmons made everybody aware that you have been presented with a recommended budget. Just a reminder, that is the start of the process, although a lot of work has gone into that document. And I urge a thorough review of that recommendation and look forward to our discussion on Monday, November 28th.
Thank you, sir. Okay, before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of these committees. Mr. Zerlo, will you please read the titles of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly, thank you. Resolution number 869, authorizing the clerk of the Clinton County Legislature to advertise for a public hearing on the 2023 county budget. Legislature.
Motion moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 870, adopting a local law number 1, 2022, titled, "A local law authorizing the county to hold virtual public meetings according with Chapter 56, Part WW of the laws of 2022, amending Section 103 of the Open Meetings Law." Legislature.
Moved by Mr. Hughes, second by Mr. Boddicker. Any discussion?
The only thing I will say, Chairman, is that if the legislature passes this local law this evening, under waive Rule 13.2, the statute indicates that you also have to pass a policy and procedure document. So that resolution is available should local law number 1 pass at the conclusion of this agenda, and if we waive Rule 13.2. And it's on your desk.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 871, awarding bid for the purchase of a 1-ton, single-axle, regular cab, heavy-duty, 4-wheel drive pickup truck, buildings and grounds.
Moved by Mr. Mazzio, second by Mr. Timmons. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Carried.
Resolution 872, approving backfill of a permanent full-time laborer, solid waste.
Moved by Mr. Castine, second by Mr. Timmons. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 873, approving backfill of a permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1 position, Highway Department.
Moved by Mr. Boddicker, second by Mr. Cresser. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 874, approving backfill of a permanent full-time social welfare examiner, social services.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Boddicker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 875, approving backfill of permanent full-time social services attorney position, social services.
Moved by Mr. Castine, second by Mr. Boddicker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 876, approving backfill of a permanent part-time custodial worker position, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 877, approving creation of a temporary full-time laborer position, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Castine, second by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 878, approving backfill of a permanent part-time program assistant position, Health Department.
Moved by Mr. Cresser, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 879, approving the creation of a permanent, full-time public health nutrition educator position, Health Department.
Moved by Mr. Castine, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 880, approving the backfill of a permanent, full-time corrections sergeant position, Sheriff Department.
Moved by Mr. Boddicker, second by Mr. Castine. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 881, approving backfill of a permanent, full-time registered professional nurse position, Sheriff's Department.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Castine. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 882, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time probation officer 2, senior probation officer position, Probation Department.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Castine. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 883, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time probation officer 1 position, Probation Department.
Moved by Mr. Cresser, second by Mr. Gaston. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 884, approving the reappointment of Carl T. Weiss, P.E., as Clinton County Highway Superintendent. Legislature.
Can I have floor for? Mr. Hughes? Okay. Any discussion? I would like to say, under discussion, we're making a very wise choice. He does an excellent job.
Making a very wise choice.
We're lucky to have Mr. Weiss.
Yes, we are. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 885, authorizing various contracts for the year 2023 personnel.
Moved by Mr. Cressler, second by Mr. Timmons. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Carried.
Resolution 886, approving payment of 2023 membership dues, Personnel Department.
Moved by Mr. Gaston, second by Mr. Timmons. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Resolution number 887, amending resolution number 613 dated August 18, 2021, titled Authorizing New York State Urban Development Corporation, DBA Empire State Development Grant Application and Acceptance, Project ID 132756, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution number 888, authorizing change order number 1 and final with Reifenberg Construction Incorporated for the rehabilitation of Taxiway A pavement and general aviation Phase 1 construction project, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Perrier. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 889, authorizing lease extension with Wood Group Pratt Whitney Industrial Turbine Services LLC, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Timmons. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 890, authorizing contract amendment with J. Hogan Refrigeration and Mechanical and K&L Plumbing and Heating, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Perrier. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 891, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for a foreign object debris sweeper, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Timmons. Any discussion?
Just want to point out, when you get to the capital equipment section of that recommended budget, Chris also put a foreign object debris sweeper in his budget to the tune of $350,000. I'm obviously recommending denial of that because I'd rather the federal government pay for that piece of equipment, to be very honest.
I wasn't sure, Mike, do we have to pay a 5% of it if they go through with this part of it?
Yeah, correct.
It's 5%.
5% is better than 100.
You thought it was, yeah.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 892, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for the spray foam installation project, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 893, authorizing contract with McFarland Johnson Incorporated for design and construction administration and observation services for the spray foam installation project, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Perrier. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 894, amending resolution 719 dated September 28, 2022, titled Authorizing Contract with Control Technologies Incorporated, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 895, authorizing contract amendments with S&L Electric and William J. Murray Incorporated, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Courier. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 896, amending Plattsburgh International Airport rates and charges, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Timmons. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Carried.
Resolution number 897, authorizing memorandum of understanding with Corporate Flight Management, DBA Contour Airlines, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Courier. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
I think it's worth noting, and I don't know if your committee discussed this, Mr. Hall, but this was not an obligation of Contour Airlines to participate in this repair. So it does indicate certainly their desire to be here in Plattsburgh. You know, and I'm assuming that, you know, they would like to work with us. So that would be positive sign.
Very good point.
Resolution 898, authorizing lease agreement with the Civil Air Patrol, Plattsburgh International.
Moved by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Carried.
Resolution number 899, authorizing contract with Samaritan Hospital, an affiliate of St. Peter's Health Partners, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Moved by Mr. Castine, second by Mr. Courier. Any discussion? Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yeah, carried.
Resolution 900, authorizing fiscal year 2018 Homeland Security Grant Program Extension Emergency Services.
Moved by Mr. Castine, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yeah, carried.
Resolution 901, authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance, 100% of a federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore highway.
Moved by Mr. Cressler, second by Mr. Potiker. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution 902, authorizing supplemental agreement number 2 with Stantec Consulting Services Incorporated for the rehabilitation of the Main Street Keysville Bridge over the Off-Sable River, bridge identification number 3359920, Highway Department.
Moved by Mr. Cressler, second by Mr. Bazzaio. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 903, authorizing contract with Paletti Stone Corporation, Highway.
Moved by Mr. Cressler, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Resolution 904, awarding bid for the replacement of the True Brook Road Bridge over the True Brook Bridge identification number 3358320, Highway Department.
Moved by Mr. Cressler, second by Mr. Potiker. Any discussion?
Could Ms. Walden get a second on that?
She can't. No.
She can, okay. Well, I was gonna ask.
Roll call.
I'm sure she's appreciative of you trying to do
All
that.
right, I went with that.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 905, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Victims of Crime Act and Victims and Witness Assistance Grant, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Castine. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 906, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2022 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act various program grants, employment, and training.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Potiker. Any discussion?
I have to abstain.
Mr. Cressler will abstain. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes, one abstention. Mr. Kretzer?
Carried.
Resolution 907, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Women, Infants, and Children Program Grant Health Department.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Mr. Grester will abstain, please.
On this one?
No,
No? No?
Oh, he said yes. Okay.
this is health department,
This
right?
is-
Okay, yes.
Switch.
Okay, yes, sorry. I just saw the program funds and no, you're right, sorry.
Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 908, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the historic structure report of the Old State Road Bridge over the Osable River Highway Department.
Moved by Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Grester. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 909, congratulating Joseph F. Musso on his exemplary service with the Civil Service Employees Association Incorporated.
4-4. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So we will have Mr. Musso come to an upcoming meeting and present this to you. So Chairman, we will have to waive, resolution 1.2.
Could I have a motion to move 13.2? Motion by Wendell, second by Calvin. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. What's this? I'm looking for it.
Bless you.
This one? Yeah.
Resolution 910, establishing procedures for member video conferencing pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 103A. You can motion wherever you want, second wherever you want.
Motion by Josh Grester, second by Mr. Timmons. Any discussion?
Just want please keep in mind that the policy itself is made part of this resolution, will be filed, and it will be placed on the county website.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Could I have a motion to go into executive session? By Mr. Timmons, second by Mr. Poirier.
For the purpose of discussing two matters involving collective negotiation.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
5:47 p.m.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Chairman, we have one more resolution this evening, Resolution 911, authorizing the chairperson to execute a memorandum of agreement by and between the County of Clinton and the Civil Service Employees Association Incorporated, Local 1000, AFS-CME, AFL-CIO, Clinton County Units 6450 and 6466 of Local 884 personnel.
Motion by Mr. Hughes, second by Mr. Mazzio. Any discussion?
Just want to get on the record, Ms. Kemlong will be making those changes as were discussed and working with the union in this authorization. We won't execute this document unless those changes are agreed to.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else to come before us tonight? Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Crester, second by Mr. Mazzio. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 6:12.